Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Today podcast. I'm your host, your doctor recommended dose of nerdiness, aka your Nerd Today. And I just want to say hi. How you doing? This is a news story podcast episode today, so it's kind of rare. We haven't done one of these in a minute, but we have some news about some layoffs. We're going to touch on that and some change-ups at Microsoft that have been rumored to happen. No confirmations, but we'll get to that in the story. But if you like what you're listening to and what you're watching, either through your favorite podcast service or youtube.com/nerdtoday, listen, do me a favor, whatever you listen, do the other, vice versa. You're watching, listen, watch, sub, all that jazz. And I want to just give a quick shout out to my patrons, pardon me. You can support me at patreon.com/nerdtoday. Like Hopefully Awesome, Matt and Maggie, love you guys so much. Susan, Brandon, ResPass, my partner in crime over at openworkpodcast.com, and Jeff. Thank you so much. But let's click into the story right now. Okay, so we're gonna read right now. The report goes, and the headline goes: 343 Industries will no longer make Halo games, but will oversee outside development. Report. This is from Darren Boonthis. I'm sorry, Darren, if I mispronounced your name and you're listening to this, over at GameSpot.com. Go quote: a new report has claimed that longtime Halo developer 343 Industries is being taken off active development of the franchise, and the new games in the series will be created by third-party studios, according to Halo leaker Bathrobe Spartan, who has a solid track record leaking Halo inside information, and translated by Metro. Microsoft's massive layoffs have hit 343 Industries hard and will see a third of its workforce laid off. Veteran developer Joseph Staten is reportedly exiting the studio as well and will rejoin Xbox Publishing. To continue, 343 Industries will take on a partial role for Halo, overseeing new games and content while working on maintaining the game's engine. This is entirely new territory for 343 Industries, as it's relied on outside help to develop Halo Infinite's multiplayer content. Season 2 is a prime example of this, but Bathrobe Spartan claims that the planned story-based DLC has been scrapped due to it being considered not cost-effective under 343's stewardship. The follow-up to Halo Infinite is also expected to enter the pre-production alongside spin-off titles, with these games reportedly being franchised out to other studios and being developed on a more modest budget. As well, multiplayer partner Certain Affinity has been rumored to be working on an ambitious new mode for the multiplayer section of the game. So, that's just the brass tacks of what's going on. So to, go with where we're talking about right here, right? The article states 343 is going to just oversee stuff and third-party studios will be active hand in this. It's kind of crazy. I remember when Bungie left, and became independent. They were working with Activision, I believe, when they wanted to break away so they can work on Destiny, and create Destiny and things like that after Reach. And 343 Industries was created to be the studio that works solely on Halo products. They will oversee anything Halo related. And if they, like Spartan Assault, they'll work with somebody, but like it has to go through 343 Industries, right? I remember when that happened, and there was a lot of worry, right? Because it wasn't Bungie at the leadership. There was still key members of Bungie who stayed with 343 Industries through the transition, and then eventually left. And then, we had Halo 4, 5, and now Infinite directly from them. And not to mention we had Spartan Assault, mobile game, and then the RTS game, which I cannot remember, and some other stuff. And then obviously a show and all this other stuff, all connected. So that's where this is interesting, right? Because for a while now, I think obviously Microsoft has an issue with their first party stuff, and I hate to sound like a broken record because I'm rooting for Xbox. I am. I love Xbox just as much as PlayStation. But listen, I think it's easy to say what Xbox strength is Game Pass, and their consumer side, like how they treat their customers. I think that is the best thing they do. But when it comes to first party titles, they're still lacking, right? We're in this, this next generation, this current generation now. I think we're about to be on 3 years, or we've started our 3rd year, and where are the games? Again, I'm really happy with Xbox and Game Pass. Like, I have a Series X, and I have it solely because of Game Pass. Like, that sold me on that, and I am able to know that any first party titles I'm interested in, like Redfall coming soon down the line and things of that nature, I can play. Starfield, I can play, without the charge of whatever I was going to play. It's already taken out. I'm already I have it stacked up for a certain amount of time. So there's that. That's interesting, and that's to think that I want this year to be the year for Xbox, and I'm going to be reacting to the developer direct next week over at twitch.tv/nerdday, unless something changes and I team up with somebody. But I'm excited for that. Now, with this news that 343, the studio that was solely created to kind of steward, to take a line, they're not going to be under stewardship, right? Because monetarily, I don't see it's cost effective. To see where this goes now is going to be interesting, right? Because then as well, you have the collective, right? No, not the coalition. Pardon me. I don't know the collective. I don't know why that came in my head. The coalition, who, at the same time when Xbox, when Epic kind of broke away and was like, hey, we're going to do our own thing, man. We got this Fortnite thing. We're going to eventually is going to break off and go crazy. Well, Microsoft was like, listen, you guys made Gears, give us Gears. Let us have Gears. We love this, IP is kind of really associated with us specifically, and you've developed for us specifically. We don't want to see that go, so we would like to have that, right? And we had People Can Fly make Judgment, Gears of War Judgment, but they wanted that kind of in-house still. They wanted to be a first party title, so that they worked out a deal. Epic gave them that, and they created the coalition. And the coalition's sole purpose was to create Gears games and Gears Media, work with Pop to make the Gears Pop game, or, the RTS as well, which I believe people like. I'm, again, just starting in the strategy sphere with Marvel's Midnight Suns. Streams on twitch.tv/nerdaday. And then VODs on youtube.com/nerdaday. But with, they help with that. They help, with whatever second studio that worked with the coalition to make that. Gears 4, 5, are really great games. Absolutely great games. I love them so much. And that was really early. That was even earlier than Reach, that, the coalition and stuff kind of was created. And we had people in and out like Rob Ferguson and stuff like that who were like, it feels very similar. 343 and the coalition feel like two in-house studios for the Xbox that have kind of similar things that have happened to them, where they are like, here's this one IP, this is all you work on, you can't do anything else. Basically, you live, breathe, and sweat, blood, and tears this one IP, whether it be Halo or Gears, respectfully, for the studios. It's very interesting to see where we go, right? Because you'd assume that we would get a Gear 6 by the coalition, right? But that's up in the air. We don't know. We don't have any news of that. I'm not saying that there needs to be news on the horizon. There could be some stuff maybe next year. They'd be like, hey, Gear 6 happening. But then as well, you have Microsoft, who just laid off 10,000 people in one day, and then they're from all different departments as well, and as I mentioned in the news report above, and you can read at the link below, they a third of 343 Industries is just gone, right? And Joseph Staten, who came back to 343 Industries to kind of help Infinite get to launch, is now he's moved on, and he's going to go back to publishing. Where does that leave that? And then they're just gonna be watching and listen, I'm not saying that a third party company cannot come in and make a banging Halo game. I didn't put this in the report, but it's in the article. It's gonna have a different budget. Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean? And I'm not saying that Certain Affinity, they're working on, rumored to be working on a multiplayer aspect for like season 3 that's going to be like this game-changing mode and stuff. I'm not saying that they can't kill it. They absolutely can. Like, everyone's is capable of turning into something that's amazing. It's just, where do you think you see this? Like, where what studios? And then that kind of speaks to a weird problem, right? And it's something I didn't really think about. Obviously I'm friends with a bunch of people. Some people are very PlayStation fanboyish, and I'm not saying I'm not hating on them or anything, but here's a good point. Like, you're trying to buy a company for $69.8 billion. You just let go 10,000 people to save 1.2 billion. The European Union is questioning you buying them. The FTC in America is questioning you buying them. And now, as you're trying to buy Activision and Blizzard and do all this stuff, and listen, that's whatever it is, if it happens, it does happen. It's getting annoying at this point. The thing there is that you are now stripping away at a quote unquote like premier studio in Microsoft, right? And we're gonna work on third party relations for our premier IP, because Halo is the IP. That's it. Like, they are like, Halo is Microsoft is Halo. You know what I mean? Like, that they're 1 and 1. Some people could say Gears, some people could say Forza, but it's not true. What was the game that came out with the original Xbox with launch? Halo Combat Evolved. By the way, shout out to Mario for having me on Halo Forever. Really good episode. But that's the thing. Like, they are Halo. Halo is them. So what's that going to be where the third party server's working with them, a third party company, developer working with them, and who do you get? And is everyone going to complain about that? That's where we're at right now. But with all that being said, that it's going to be interesting to see, and I would love to do a follow up once we've had some concrete details of who takes over, who does what. And you know what? I don't know if this is part of the problem, but I downloaded Halo Infinite and I played a lot of multiplayer, a decent amount. I wish I could play more, and I should have dedicated more time to it. There's people out there like RumblePack92. Shout out Chris. Like, you're awesome. And the Cyan Tsunami Squad, all day, every day, son. All day, every day. Cyan Tsunami Squad. What do you... I don't know the words I want to find. Like, I think an issue was there's also so many games out, right? And I have limited time, so I don't want to say like I think I'm part of the problem here, but I am part of the problem. I didn't even play the story of Halo Infinite. I got to the open world section of it, and I have never picked it up since. And I want to. I know I could say I have many spinning plates, fatherhood, being a good partner to my wife, day job, other games, new podcast now that wink wink elbow elbow you'll hear about soon, wrestling podcast, wrestling commentary for a video game, not it's like one of those YouTube pages, wink wink elbow elbow, you'll hear about that soon as well. But I could sit down and play that though. I have off night tonight. I could sit down and play Halo and dedicate some time to that, and I should. But it's just weird to think of like the premier franchise for Xbox being like, hey, you don't have a developer now. Like, we'll pick who's best for this, and it's weird to see that with Xbox. It's just a weird time to be an Xbox fan. They're so primed to do some amazing things, and I just hope they hit it. But as well, we'll see, and there could be a follow-up with this. We'll see how the developers direct does next week. We'll see what stories we get. I know we're not going to see Starfield, but we'll see how this year kicks off for 2023. But we're gonna stop it right there. Thank you again for tuning in, listening in. Again, if you're watching, there's my little Twitter handle right there. Give me a shout out. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. And if you're listening, go over to youtube.com/nerdday, like, share, subscribe, follow, bell, all that jazz. And then if you like it as well, you want to throw me a buck or two, patreon.com/nerdday. But thank you so much for coming here. It's a little bit of a rambly video, so I do apologize for that specifically. But it's just weird. It's a weird place for Halo. Let's see. I don't know. Love you guys. Catch you in the next one.